Hello guys, today we're going to go into how to replace a drive belt on the Toro TimeCutter MX5060. I'll normally pull these in to the shop, get it up on jacks, use an impact wrench, and makes the job real easy. Today I'm going to show you how to do it with basic tools. For example, if you can't move the unit and you need to do an in-the-field repair, I'm going to show you how to do it with just basic tools. We're going to use floor tools, a pipe wrench, some sort of breaker bar with a 5/8 inch socket, a little pair of needle nose pliers, and just straight bladed screwdriver. Just a quick review for those of you that don't know how to move these things once they break, because once that drive belt breaks, you're not going anywhere. On the Toro models, you can see right back here, these little levers, this is the normal position. You see this notch right here? What you'll do is you'll push it in to where it catches, so it's staying on the end position and it disengages that transmission. So you've got one on each side right here. Do the same on it, and you'll come up here. Here's another little secret: make sure your bars are on the end position, and then turn your switch to the on position, and then you can freewheel this thing anywhere you want to. This one broke yesterday, and I've been meaning to do a video like this for you guys to show you how you can do it, because I have done it in the field. You don't need jacks or anything. Basically, you're just going to loosen the bolt on the power takeoff, drop it, put the new belt on, and then the reverse procedure. Now, in this manual, this will kind of review what we're going through. In this belt diagram, it's real confusing, and you can put the belt on wrong. I've got your idler pulleys. There's two of those, as you can see, one here and one there. And I've got the part numbers, and you can kind of go to Amazon and just enter that part number and it will pull it up. Also, the drive belt is an original Toro X-Mark 119 3321, but you can see I'm using a Stens belt you can get off of Amazon also, and this will replace that same belt. So this is kind of what the belt looks like. It's a 65 inch belt by 1.5 inches. And so let's climb back under the vehicle and kind of show you. For those, I remember the first time this ever happened, I never had an idea that there was even a drive belt on these things. I thought it was just the deck belt that you can see that goes around the blades. Here you can kind of see, you shouldn't be able to see this belt at all, but it's up under here, so we'll climb up under here, see if I can. Okay, this is kind of the booger right here, the power takeoff. And what we're going to have to do, see where my finger is? I'm going to put a pipe wrench on there, and what I did, I got a 24 inch at Harbor Freight. It seems to work very nice. You've got to keep that drive shaft from turning, because if you don't, when you go on the bottom here to try and undo this 5/8 inch bolt, it's just going to spin around. So you've got to secure this somehow. If you've got an impact wrench, you don't need to worry about it. You just come up and boom, it comes right off. So you've got that, remove the bolt, and then in the back, you can see how this thing, when I twist it around, okay, it will not rotate around and around, okay? It's a lock. And you really can just drop this boat down enough to where this PTO will drop down and give you a gap. And this whole thing will spin around and you can slide your belt up over it and get it in. And so you don't really need to even drop this. But there is a wire all the way in the back, that electronic PTO that you turn it off and on your control panel up there, that's got to come off. And it is a bear. I mean, it's really hard to figure out how to get it undone. So I'm going to drop this whole thing and then show you how that safety clip is on that little wire. So if you want to do it blind, at least you'll know what you're supposed to be doing to get that clip undone. So we're going to drop the PTO. I'm going to show you how to take off that little power wire, and I'll show you this mess up in here. It's really hard to get a good picture of this pulley system. You've got basically a pulley on each transmission, one here, one there. You can see that little fan blade. The pulley is actually on top of that fan blade. You've got the pulley on the drive shaft right there, and then we've got two idler pulleys right here. And you can actually see I drew out like my belt routing on the piece of cardboard I'm laying on. It's like I say, it's probably the hardest part, is just figuring out the correct way that belt goes on. And like I say, you can put it on wrong and burn up your belt. I mean, it'll almost be right, but it won't. So I'm gonna pause here, and then I'll show you how I get the pipe wrench on, and we'll drop the PTO, and I'll show you how we'll undo that electrical connection. Okay, took a little pause here. So now we're gonna look. You can see right up here, I've got that 24-inch pipe wrench, and I've got the jaw around that drive shaft up there, and the handle will come out here to the back. I've got that torque wrench with a 5/8" socket, and so this pipe wrench is going to hold your shaft in place, because without that thing's just going to spin around. You're not going to do anything. So you've got to secure that, and it's really easy. There's a lot of different ways you'll see out there. So we'll just take, so like I say, that's a 5/8" bolt. You'll just back that thing all the way out. I'm gonna have to, I can't do this a one-handed thing, but I've got the nut broke, and you can see I've already loosened my drive belt from the front up there, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the drive belt at this point. And what I'll do is I'm gonna take this 5/8" bolt all the way out, and then we'll drop this whole power PTO. It'll come off, and it'll still be connected by that little electrical wiring that goes to your switch for the off and on. And I want to show you how to do that, and basically that's all there is to it. Just keep in mind, see how that thing is locked in there? There's a little metal tab in the back that this thing rides in on, and it locks this PTO in place. So that's the only thing, when you're putting this thing back on, they've got to line up so it's locked in and it just doesn't spin around. So I'll pause here, and then once we get the PTO dropped, we'll look at that electrical switch. Okay, you can see I just dropped the PTO. See that, how that shaft is notched, and on the inside you've got a notch off. So this bolt will drop all the way down and everything. And you can see this little clip right here. Okay, you can see that safety clip right on the front right there. You have to bend up, and then that thing pops loose and all this will come out. Okay, so I got the screwdriver in there now, and you can see you just pry that thing up, and then that little electrical connector will go out. There we go. So it's, now that can be a bear when you're trying to do that blind. So we'll get the PTO out. I don't know if you can see, that shaft has a notch. I don't think it, yeah, you might be able to see that. And so basically, we're going to put the belt on, and then we'll just put the PTO back, and then basically I'll show you the routing procedure on those pulleys too. Okay, wanted to show you, just got the belt on, kind of what we're dealing with here. See if we can get a little light going on up there. I would suggest drawing this belt diagram out. See the way that I did on this cardboard? Because you can get it on wrong and you'll burn the belt up. And that's the most confusing thing, is when you're looking at the book trying to get your belt. You've basically got the two pulleys. There's one of them right up there, and you can see how the pulley is on top of the fan. So you got one there and then one over there. And you can see how that's the shaft we put our pipe wrench on. See how the belt comes around the top of that, and that's one of the idler pulleys, and there's the other idler pulley. Now once you get the belt routed, then you got this spring right here, and it can be a real pain sometimes to connect up, and that's where the needle nose pliers comes in. And what I'll grab the end here, and I'll show you where that spring goes into. See this hole? Kind of hard to get right here. Okay, so I'll take a pair of needle nose pliers. I'm gonna have to have two hands for this, and just put it into this hole right here. So once that's set, the belt system is set. So what we'll do is we'll come down, and you can see this power takeoff. Okay, with our 5/8" bolt, that'll pop all the way out. There's our little electronic connection. See this slot right here? That's what locks this whole PTO in and prevents it from turning. And that little lock mechanism, that's what prevents you from just sliding the belt on without having to drop this whole thing. Let me show you. See that metal right there? That tab goes down into that slot, and that keeps that PTO from rotating. So when you slide that thing up, it locks in, and you need to make sure that you get that locked in, you know, and so you've got the slot on the shaft, you got to line up, and then this slot right here, and then basically bolt the PTO back on, connect your electrical connection, put your deck belt back on, and that's all there is to this particular thing. It's just a pain in the butt routing that belt up there. It's kind of easy for me. I've done it so many times, but your first time, it's a real pain in the butt. But this will basically show you how to do an out in the field repair. I mean, you don't have to have jacks. I prefer to get this thing all jacked up and get my impact wrench and in and out, but just did this to kind of show you what you can do if you've got minimal tools, or if you can't retrieve that lawnmower, you got to do a repair, because if that drive belt goes out, you're not going anywhere. So a lot of you guys that don't even realize, first time this went out, I didn't even know there was a drive belt. The only thing I thought was, you know, your deck belt. And we were mowing some really tall weeds, some straw type weeds, and they got up in there and threw the belt off. And then that's when I started digging around doing some research and found it's got a drive belt that you can't see. And so we just went through on how to basically access it, repair it, and hope this helps you out and causes a little less frustration. Thanks for watching. Bye.